worship one God.
We continue to record these khutbahs because they are very important. Now I know what I'm going to talk about. In fact, exactly 19 years ago, I started the research on the Quran. I put it in the computer, and you know the rest of the story. Now after that, there was tremendous publicity for the miracle of the Quran. We had not reached the conclusion that is causing all kinds of problems for the disbelievers, that we shall worship God alone, that we shall devote ourselves to Allah alone, and that we must uphold the Quran, the whole Quran, and nothing but Quran. Until this conclusion appeared about 1976, there was tremendous publicity for the miracle of Quran and the putting the Quran in the computer, and it was a very popular issue. The leaflet was distributed by the millions throughout the Muslim world and was translated to all languages of the world, French and Japanese, and the biblical scholars apparently became jealous, and they wanted to do the same thing. So they did organize a very sanctioned study at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. A fellow by the name of Katz put the Bible in the computer, the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, I guess. And what they did was to first, let's say, I'm going to put the English, but they used the original to them, or the oldest text they can get hold of. In the beginning, this is how the book of Genesis begins. What they did was take every second letter. I think they started with every 7th letter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they took every 7th letter, put all these letters together, and tried to get meaningful words or sentences out of them. That didn't work. So they took every 8th letter, and that didn't work. And they kept going on until they got to some number and they found the word Torah. And they became very excited. And they said, God is saying that this is the Torah, and so on. They found words like Elohim, Jerusalem, Holocaust. But these words were formed from the letters that they extracted from the text, the original text of the Bible. Last night, Larry King had a professor at the University of California, San Diego. His name was Richard Elliott Freeman. His book is now in the market, and they're making a big noise about it. The book is entitled Who Wrote the Bible? And in the question and answer by telephone, somebody asked him if he's familiar with the computer work that was done in Israel. And I'm going to let you hear the answer. Then I will comment from there on. Don't worry, you're going to hear it.
Figuring that the computer would help them to prove that it was written by different people at different times. Making a speech out. That they discovered by the use of the computer that the chances of the Bible being written by mortal man is only one chance out of 1,300,000. Like to comment, Charles? Sure. I'm familiar about there have been 2 of these computer studies in recent years that supposedly prove that the Bible is all by God or all by one person. terms. What their system was, they counted every seventh letter of the Bible to see if it spelled out any words. It didn't work, so they tried every eighth letter and so on. And finally, on a certain, I think it was every 17th letter, it came out every now and then spelling out the word. As it happens, the word they got was Torah. 3 of the 4 letters of Torah are the 3 most common letters in the Hebrew language. And so they said, statistically, my God, how could this have happened that it keeps out spelling Torah? It is nonsense. You can do this with any book, the same process. You count every 14th letter of the Bible, and it'll spell out Paul McCartney is dead.
Okay. This is true. I mean, as you see now, what I'm trying to tell you in this khutbah is that we have the real thing. These people tried, they put the Bible in the computer, and they tried all kinds of things. Now they're taking every 7th letter, every 8th letter, and so on. In the Quran, the discovery that came out of this mosque, we have no choice. We cannot manipulate the data. We have 2 verses initiated with the letter Q. We didn't choose Q. The author of the Quran, Almighty Allah, chose Q. And there are 2 chapters initiated with Q. One is chapter 42, the other chapter 50. You count the letter Q, which is dictated on us. We did not choose it. In chapter 42, and you have 57 Qs. 19 times 3. You count the letter Q in chapter 50, which is half as long as 42, and you also get the same number, 57, which is 19 times 3. There is one chapter initiated with the letter N. We didn't choose the letter N. There is no chance of manipulating or haphazardly looking for anything. And you count the letters in this chapter, the letter N in this chapter, and you have 133. 19 times 7. There are 3 chapters initiated with the letter S, the heavy S, a guttural S, Sad. And you count this letter. There is no question about the letter. Q or N or S, they're very clear letters. And in the chapters initiated with S, you count this letter, and you find 152 S's, which is 19 times 8. There is no manipulation here. We have the real thing. We have proof that every letter in Quran, every word, was mathematically composed beyond human intelligence. This is a supernatural composition. I wanted initially to give you a report on my visit to San Diego. We had a very nice meeting last Saturday, and I find out that Apame's aunt and uncle were there. I presented to them, we discussed with them the miracle of Quran, and there was one person, an objector, who came from some other camp, and I pointed out these things to him, that we have no chance of manipulating the Quran, because we did not choose the Q or the S or the N. And I asked him to explain how come all these are consistently multiples of 19. We have 7 chapters initiated with HM. 7 chapters. And you count these initials in the 7 chapters, and you have 2,147. Or 19 times 113. 2,147. These 7 chapters are almost 1/10 of the Quran. And if you have 1 extra H or 1 extra M, this would not be a multiple of 19. It's an extremely sensitive mathematical composition. ALM in chapter 2, 9,899 of them. You count the letter